Hello everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com, and I hope you had a profitable and great week overall. Labor Day is on Monday, so it's a shortened holiday week next week. And as it is, we are heading into September. I'll remind everybody, listen, there's a couple of trades that I took and then regretted not getting back into because of August. I went into RKLB or added to my position. You can see the original long position with that white triangle here. I added to it on this day, was stopped out of it on this day, then got the better signal right here off the 50 SMA. Didn't take it because it was August going into September. And of course, now regretting that decision. A similar situation also happened in APP. I took it on this day off the 9 EMA, really wanted off the 21 EMA. Of course, fails on me. Then I get the great signal right off the 21 EMA. I don't take it, and of course, now regret it. And I also skipped taking PGEN, but I'm not too upset about this one because there is one technical criteria that it didn't have. I don't like to see any red in the chart whatsoever whenever it's this kind of speculative name. But I told everybody, if it works out on this day, said in the video lesson to members, if it works out, I won't regret not taking it. Well, guess what? I ended up regret not taking it. But really, not really. Not that one, but app and RKLB definitely. But the whole point behind that exercise was that my I'm letting my opinions get in the way of the overall market. And while it's kind of hit and miss during this earnings season with signals, there's still been some good signals. We're long some names that are working well, but at the same time, we also are getting long names that are kind of not working or rolling over, like Tesla. You can see where the white triangle is on the swing position. Was working, now it's not working, kind of going nowhere. So we're seeing a lot of that. But as we march into September, I can't get it out of my head, guys. Seasonality, I just understand it too much. It's a big, big piece of the puzzle. There is one time that I don't really like trading. It's August, September into mid-October. But really, there is only 1 month I would rather not take signals, be wrong, watch it go without me if it's not grade A plus. So unless it's a perfect signal, I just don't mind it. But seasonality wise, September, it's the worst month historically for the stock market for returns in the S&P 500 going back to 1950. It's the worst month of the year for the last 10 years. It's the worst month of the year for the last 20 years. And it's the second worst month for the last 30 years, with the worst being August. Normally, August and September is weak. Not only that, while August was an up month this month, in a post-election year, I believe it's only been I think something like 3 out of the last 18 post-election years are both August and September on up. Doesn't mean that that can't happen again this year. Obviously, it can be 4 out of 19. But I'm all about odds and probabilities and just stacking everything in my case. And right now, I just don't have it. So unless it's a perfect setup, moving forward, I probably won't be taking any new long signals. Now, we have had some signals, and they've triggered, and we've gotten long, and I'm still all in on everything. So if I only have one stock on the book, it's getting all of my buying power. If there's 4 stocks on the book that haven't triggered, it's getting all my buying power divided by 4. And that's how I'm operating until today. Starting today, I'll back off. I'll still probably do the all in with the buying power. The difference is I'm getting a lot of B setups. It's going to be A setup only moving forward. So right now, I don't have any new end of day long signals for anyone this weekend. And there's one stock that's in my weekly squeeze scan right now. There's only 2 stocks in there right now, guys, just by the way. Out of over 10,000 stocks that scans for, only 2 stocks right now are in there. XPEV is one of them, and we got the signal in this one, the long signal on this day, but because it's so gappy, I missed it, and it ran without me. But now it's pulling all the way back, so I see a cup forming here. This is a deep handle. It's way deeper than I wanted it. But if it can give me another hammer candle, I'm getting long, risking to the 50 SMA in this one. And then BROS entered the weekly squeeze scan. We'll take a look at the other telechart version. I use this antiquated version because it's just easier on my eyes. I see the charts a lot better on this one, so I'm using this one. But Bros is now getting up to this previous resistance level and is now starting a handle. It's 2 days in. I would like to see it go at least 5 days in, and then I'd be more than happy to do a buy stop above this high. But besides Bros and XPEV, there are no other stocks in the scan. Bros has amazing fundamentals. XPEV has extremely strong fundamentals. They're not profitable yet. The earnings and sales growth is outstanding. Sales growth is over 100%. So I definitely like these. Now, my daily squeeze scan, I have some good setups, but they're just not quite ready for me just yet. SSSS is in my daily squeeze scan, and this chart is getting super tight. I mean, it's beautiful, including this technical indicator here. The volume profile is perfect right now. I would love to get a hammer candle like this print right here, up, down and through the 50 SMA, and then I would take that long. But I'm not going to do a buy stop above the recent highs just because this is a lower price stock. Doesn't quite have the fundamentals that I want as we head into September. There's another stock, URGN, in my daily squeeze scan. Beautiful setup. Love how the volume's contracting. It's a biotech. Same thing though. I've got to get this closer to the 50 SMA, and it's got to be a longer base before I would even do a buy stop on this. And then the other interesting one for my daily squeeze scan right now is MP. And symmetry wise, it's just not there. It's still basically just uptrending, melting higher. It's not really consolidating. It isn't a consolidation, but I need that 50 SMA to get much more close before I could even consider it. Now this week, we had some excellent earnings winners. MDB, excellent. Told everybody the night of this earnings that MDB was viable gap up the very next day. It has worked out. Then the very next session, I told everybody Snow is the viable gap up, and that worked out. PSTG and Snow are both in the long-term portfolio, but I did not issue a viable gap up alert on PSTG, but you can see how well that's worked. I'm bringing those up because there's been a bit of a change after today. So NVIDIA had its earnings, held in pretty well on the day of its earnings, but since is starting to roll over. Heavier volume the past 2 days. As you can see, this volume increase is much larger than we've seen recently. I don't think NVIDIA is dead, obviously, and I'm extremely bullish on NVIDIA, but with September coming, it makes sense that it's time to pull back. Now, what I saw today, that just tells me short term, we might be done with all of the earnings excitement, is AFRM. Huge volume on the earnings gap up reversal. So I noticed that. Also, iron, huge volume on the gap up reversal. I believe all these will be fine, but as a momentum long, it's probably time to consolidate, is basically what I'm saying. And then, of course, my favorite one from Friday was AMBA on the top bottom line, the beats and the actual percentage growth of earnings and sales, but another big reversal off the highs on huge volume. This is definitely a change of character. I really only saw that with one earnings winner, Microsoft. And as you can see, it's been pulling back since. And it's fine. Everything's fine with it. It just probably needs more time here. So on an end-of-day basis, I don't have anything to do, unfortunately, on the long side. I mean, I wish there was, but I don't force trades if there's no trades. But we do have two end-of-day sell signals. BMNR was a new long position off this 50 SMA, a recent Kathy buy, which is on the top of my watch list. I always watch these names every day. I look at these names that are new issues, BMNR or large buys. BMNR was a large buy, and is basically a new issue with the Tom Lee and the crypto treasury, I guess, rebranding that the stock has done. So since that 50 SMA, with it closing below the 50 SMA for the first time since being a new long, and since we initially had a gain of over 50%, the first close below the 50 SMA is always a sell signal. So BMNR on an end-of-day basis, 50% end-of-day sell signal for a 30% gain. Pretty good action there. But another, I guess you could say, more momentum name bull since the initial long position is also closing below the 50 SMA on heavier volume, while losing that green bop for the first time since making a new long signal. That's a 13% gain on an end of day basis. But both bull and BM&R are full, not full, excuse me, 50% end of day sell signals. So let's just get to the telechart version 25. And what I want to show you, another indication that we could be in for a pull, is that this, ignore all of these indicators down here except for this one right now. I know this chart's noisy. I know how to handle it. Price is all that matters to me. Volume is secondary. Everything else is tertiary or quaternary. SPY, since this low, that slingshot TTM trend momentum has turned higher and has been moving higher ever since. However, last week, dark blue bar. This week, dark blue bar. That's my first indications that on a weekly time frame, a longer term time frame, we might be getting curl lower. The QQQ, also the same thing. Since that low and that slingshot move higher, the last 2 weeks, dark blue bars. So this kind of helps, reiterate to me that, yeah, we might have a weak September because we normally do. Now, I want to show you in the daily squeeze scan, we got 34 stocks right now. And in the most stringent weekly squeeze scan, XPEV and BROS. And that is it. And like I said, with BROS, I love this consolidation forming. Give me a handle from here. Buy stop would go above this high. But if you want to get long BROS now, if you don't think it's going to pull back, a buy stop over this high right here. But you can see all the red dots as it's in a weekly squeeze. And there's moving average requirements in this. There's previous move requirements that's in this. And it has to be within the recent highs requirement, all within the scan. But BROS is my top watch moving forward. But that's all I have. Enjoy your long weekend, everybody. We'll do it again next Friday.